If you are to be a president, you must really be very, very well versed. That's why we had all these problems in the past. So I don't see how you can simply say politics is in the Musai. Now, what is in your Musai is simple confusion. It's not politics. Maybe what is in your Musai is simply feelings. Okwagala. Because it's okwagala or oktagala, that's not politics. Norwala politics. You can hear somebody go, politics zin Musai. Now, how can politics be in your Musai? It is because politics is knowledge. Politics is the science of management of society.
The DAs who are here, and I think there is a PS of others in charge of RCs, gathered before you here are the members of the district councils, as you called them, and the RC4s. I'd like to thank you for convening us here, and would like to hear from you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Now, the reason why I called you today, I want to use this as a politicization session. There is still so much confusion in the politics of Uganda that I really feel sad myself, because my interest in going to the bush and trying to solve the problems of Uganda was because I hoped that we could really solve these problems. But if we are simply going to move in circles, one problem after another, then it's a big loss for Uganda. As you know, Uganda is very well endowed. It's a very rich country. But because of the bad politics which we have had here in the past, we are now, until recently, we have been among the most backward in the whole of this region. Even countries like Burundi, like Rwanda, we are now ahead of us, which are very small countries. Now we are trying to catch up now, and we may catch up if we can maintain the pace and overtake them. But that will not happen unless we sort out our politics. Because this is really thing number one. If you don't sort out politics, everything else you're wasting your time. You cannot have development unless you sort out politics. That's why you find that countries which are relatively poorer than us are better off, because somehow they were able to maintain some degree of cohesion, although not some of them are also not so well off, but they are slightly better off. Now, so I would like us to really, instead of, and these committees which we have elected, they should not be committees for distributing sugar and maftayata and all that only. They should really be mainly for understanding politics. What is politics, first of all? Because everybody would like to be a politician. But how can you be a politician of something you don't understand? Politics is not an infection. It's not like Senyiga, which can just catch you and you become a politician. Norwala politics. You can hear somebody go, politics zin Musai. Now, how can politics be in your Musai? It is because politics is knowledge. Politics is the science of management of society. That's what politics is. Politics is the science of management. It's a science. If you do things badly, you get wrong results. If you do them correctly, you get good results. So how can it be in your Musai? It's not possible. You must learn, you see. You must learn it. You must take trouble to say what is important. In order to be a manager of a bank, you take very many years. First of all, you spend many years in the university, studying general degree. Then you cannot even be a manager after getting a university degree, Bachelor of Commerce, unless you go for financial diploma in financial management, what. Even then they appoint you as an assistant manager. You're not yet a general manager. And this is just to manage one branch, just one bank, one branch, not the whole Uganda Commercial Bank or Barclays. Now, if it takes you so long to understand how to manage just one branch of a bank, why should you think that managing a whole country is merely your Musai? You see? Because now you're not managing one branch of a bank, you are managing all the banks, all the committees, all the cows, all the goats, all the hens, all the minerals in the soil. These are all on your head. If you're a DA, you must have a very good idea about all this. If you are to be a president, you must really be very, very well versed. That's why we had all these problems in the past. So I don't see how you can simply say politics is in the Musai. Now, what is in your Musai is simple confusion. It's not politics. Maybe what is in your Musai is simply feelings. Okwagala. Because it's okwagala or oktagala, that's not politics. That is emotion. That is emotion now. Okwagala omwana wange, that's not politics. That is simply emotion. All animals have kwagala, they do it. You can even see a cow, it knows its young one. But you cannot say because therefore it is a politician. You cannot, these are just basic feelings. Even umusiringanyi mugumanyi. Earthworm, it's also kwagala. It likes something and it does not like other things. Boteko emere umusiringanyi, I think it also eats, otherwise how does it live? So it can also kwagala or not kwagala. But it's not a politician, certainly. So first concentrate on sorting your minds out. Because that's what Uganda has been lacking. Uganda has not been lacking money. We had so much money, banks, buildings. That's what, we have not been lacking all of that. It has been there, but it got destroyed. Because people could not sort out what is right and what is wrong. This is the first thing to sort out. What is right and what is wrong. Unless you sort that out, your money, what we need to do? Because we are not mercenaries. We are not looking. We who are fighting in the bush, we are not mercenaries. We didn't want to be paid. We simply wanted to sort out things. This was our interest. So we were not fighting to be rewarded. And nobody can even reward us. How do you reward me for my life, which I have given, or for the life of these young boys? So the only reward is to ensure that things are at last sorted out once and for all. This is the only reward that one would want when we are fighting. Problems, egoism, just selfishness. Everybody thinks he's the beginning and end of the world. He called me, I couldn't go because I am senior to him. Imagine, that is also a source of crisis. Who will go to the other one's house? Because I am senior, he summoned me, and I am senior, and how could I go? Just like that, like. So, unfortunately, I see the same trends even now. Because I just keep on my listening. You see, what are these people saying? What are these counselors saying? The new ones. You see. So I just listen to the political talk. Sometimes some people are lecturers on economics. He doesn't know anything about economics, but he's a big lecturer there. He's telling lies to people, saying it will be like this. It is all right to say, this thing I don't understand, but is it really like this or like this? That sort of attitude, me, I think is a very good attitude. But the moment you see somebody, he's already a lecturer on something he has seen today, be careful. That person is not a good fellow. He won't even learn. You see? So, I always listen to the talk. Now, what I've been listening in the past few months on has been mainly on the basis of tribalism and religion especially. The old disease of Uganda. Yes, I've been listening. First, so I will take the examples of the committees. The idea of committees is our idea. When we brought it, it was opposed. It was opposed that it was communist. I think you heard that. Museveni agakuleta wano communism. This is manyumba kumi. This is manyumba kumi of Tanzania. This is communism. So we struggled, gentlemen. This is not communism. We are simply saying that you should represent your own interests. Struggle. Then the committees were elected. Then at that time the talk was the committee should be boycotted. You remember there was that talk that people should boycott the committees. And I would monitor. Who is saying we should do? I know who will be saying, because I always know who is saying what. Then I will say, Mumuleko, you just leave the man. Really, I don't see how anybody can see a committee is a bad thing. A local committee. So many people have been talking of local government, of federal, of what? This is the real federal, if you want to know what federal is. Because every village governs itself. Every Gombora governs itself. Every district governs itself. Democratically, not by hereditary rule or what. Democratically. You elect the people you want and they decide on this RC bill, if you look at the powers. I don't know what, you are the one who can license people to do business there. You are the one who can judge cases now, these civil cases. You are the one who can recommend people want to go into the army, recommend or disrecommend anybody, the bad people. Security is in your hands. What? I mean, this is real power. I don't see how somebody cannot appreciate this, how somebody can think that this is communism. Now, so we struggled, we went on, we talked, and eventually people elected. Some reluctantly. Then after some time, they said, but this committee is very good. It's very good. After some time, everybody started saying that the committees were very good. But when these committees people started electing, now they brought another idea that the old political parties were now going to take them over, to take over the committees. But why hadn't you formed the committees in the first place? Why do you see that the people are united now? And you bring in the idea of we and them? Because, everybody is involved. Everybody. This is the first time we have had elections which are not rigged in the history of Uganda. You read the history of Uganda. Since when have we ever had elections which are not rigged? Where the government does not come in to say, we support this one or that one. No, say, you choose whoever you want. All of you. So, they started trying to destroy the whole spirit of the RC, where there is consensus, national consensus. Coming to the economy. I'm very, very, very confident, in spite of these delays which have sometimes taken place. What is our line on economic recovery? Many of you concentrate on a few points. They concentrate, for instance, on consumer goods and prices. If the consumer goods are not plentiful, if the prices are high, then the economy is not performing well. Then everything is going to the dogs. When you are rehabilitating your economy, before the rehabilitation program has matured, why should you be surprised when you have got a shortage? Why should you be surprised? Therefore, what I'm trying to point out to you is that the question of these problems you're talking about, consumer goods and prices, now, in my opinion, is secondary. It's not very important. It is secondary. What you should focus on is, have we replanted the suckers? Are they there in the garden? And how long will they take to mature? And when do we expect to eat the matoke? I think you, the committee member, this is the type of line you should understand. And if you understand, if you are not satisfied with that, then you question that. You say, but we don't see any planting going on. We don't see any suckers planted. When will the banana plantation be ready? If we have not planted this year, when will it be ready? Now, if you find that we have planted the suckers, then you should know that next year we shall have the supply of the matoke. But it's not, it's nonsensical to cry now about, oh, we don't have matoke, we must go to buy. Of course you must buy, because the suckers cannot be ready in 1 week, cannot be ready in 1 month. So that's why I find the whole discussion about the economy just cheap. I mean, sometimes I even fail to contribute. Because when people are talking, nothing really. You even find difficult. You say, where do I come in now? What can I tell these people? Because these people are off the point. They are discussing different things. So now, so I think the whole discussion about consumer goods and prices is completely misdirected. Salaries. You hear people complaining about salaries. Now, you know how salary. Some of you who are educated know how the whole thing works. Government taxes somebody. Taxes commodities, for instance. Taxes beer. Taxes soda. Taxes imports. Then it gets revenue. Then from the revenue, it increases price. Salaries. Now, why should you be surprised not to have adequate salaries now, when you know very well that the tax base of the government, of the country is very narrow? We are only taxing coffee and a few other things. Beer was down. Cigarettes were down. Textiles were down. Leather products were down. Name it, soap was down. All these things were down. Now, where would you think the money to generate taxes to put in the coffers of the government and increase salaries and so on, where do you think it would come from? So that's why, in my view, we should direct the discussion of the economy on the rehabilitation programs. We should say, have they started building the sugar factory? Have they started? And if they have started, is it moving on time? Now, if they have started and it is moving on time, then you are sure that tomorrow you will get sugar. Although you don't have it now, tomorrow you will get it. If we don't have shoes now, but have they started rehabilitating the leather factory? Have they started a program of restocking the animals? Because like that factory there in Jinja, Ulati, it needs 700 hides a day. So you must slaughter 700 cows for it a day. Now, if you are sure that there is a program to restock the animals, and there is a program to rebuild that factory, and the program is progressing on time, then you turn around to your people and you tell them, gentlemen, don't worry, things are moving according to plan. You go to beer, there's shortage of beer, but what is being done? Have they started rehabilitating the factory? And is the rehabilitation moving on time? Then, in my view, if we were discussing the economy in that way, we would reach a better understanding, in my view. Coming to individual sectors, you'll find that really literally now we have covered every sector with rehabilitation programs. I don't remember of any sector in which we are not active, except probably glass. Glass, this is the only one where there is no activity. to restore the production of glass. And possibly the salt project stopped a bit, but we shall resume it in Katwe. But all others, textiles, we are moving. Leather, we are on the move. BAT, tobacco, we are almost arriving. Let's take one case of soap. Let's just take soap. Soap, within about 4 months, we shall be self-sufficient in soap. The only area where we shall have problems for a number of years is textiles. What I'm hoping for the textiles, after we rehabilitate this, or even as we do that, I hope we can add a weaving and finishing section on Lira spinning mill. Because in Lira there is a spinning mill. It spins only. It does not weave. So if we could add on a section there, whereby it could spin and also weave, maybe also with another capacity of about 30 million meters, then we may be able to reach 100 million. These matters are really matters which are very serious matters, and I hope, you as the leaders, because you see, we, the NRM, we wanted this system very much because we know it can help in many ways. First of all, it is democratic. Everybody is able to speak through these committees. But secondly, it can be a movement for enlightenment, so that people really talk about things they know. If it is going to be a political issue, let it be issue on this, for instance. Let's decide. Should we spend the 50 million on sugar this year? Or should we build the... And that's why I would like you to use the councils, to be enlightened.
How far has measures to make the army productive?
Okay. The army is already starting on this production. For instance, this season we produced in Kasese 250, I think, tons of cotton. Otherwise we intend to be producing something like 5,000 or 10,000 tons of cotton in Kasese, plus other areas, or even more. Maize, I don't know how much we produce. We produce a lot of maize because we tilled. Altogether, we've got something like 12,000 acres of land, and we intend to till all of this because we have got some in Kasese, some in the north, some in other. We shall be producing a lot of wealth using them. We have already started, but we didn't have inputs, things like that. But now we have. And not only that, we are not going to stop there, just cultivation. Cultivation is one side. We shall also have, we have got set up a construction unit of the Ministry of Defense where we build our own houses, and later on we can build houses of other people and be paid. We have also set up manufacturing sector. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.